Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hope you all are doing fantastic. Let's take a look and see what is going on with the Bitcoin for the day. All right, so we had a decent move up in the middle of the night here to about 64,444 area. Getting that retracement now, though, on the daily. So we did trade up first. Could be another bearish candle potentially for the day, but we could also get the recovery. It's right around the time that we are slowly looking for a potential setup in the morning as a possible reversal for the day. So just keep that in mind, guys. I am still going to remain with a bullish bias. 64,444 is great, but we still didn't reach weekly open. Neither did we reach midnight Monday open. So that being said, I am still looking for a move up. Taking a look at the 12 hours. So the 12 hour, definitely you don't want to see this get a bearish engulfing candle. It was nice that we got some tweezer bottoms right here. There is a potential that we could get that bearish candle, but just expect, August is going to be a very choppy month. We got to expect for there to be some violence, both to the upside to the downside, a lot of seek and destroy-ish like profiles. So just kind of be aware for that. I am, like I said, staying bullish for the week. I was hoping that we would get the follow through based off of the Fed event today, but it looks like it's doing the opposite because we did pump last night, so now it's dumping price. That being said, I am still, like I said, looking for some decent setups throughout the day here to potentially come to fruition, especially because tomorrow we have another Fed. I think there's a group of Fed events actually for tomorrow. Taking a look at your 10 hour and your 8 hour, as long as you don't lose that 200 MA, you should be good to go. Nothing to really worry about there. That's going to be the only thing that I'm going to be watching as far as, price levels are concerned. You could even tap, both the 8 hour and the 10 hour 200 MA again, just not lose it, right? So as long as you don't lose them, you should be good to go. 6 hour, the same thing. You could tap all the way down to 63.3. As long as you don't lose that 6 hour, you'll be all right. 4 hour is getting that follow through to the downside. We did get some partial reversal here, for the past 16 hours, the past four candles, but it didn't look like it was able to hold that. We tried to get back above that 200, potentially getting the death cross on the 4 hour. So again, guys, there's a potential for a little bit more downside. I wouldn't say by much because we still have the 6, 8, and 10 hour, more of the higher meso time frames kind of supporting us. But just know that there's a potential that we could keep getting that move down for at least for right now. Um, that being said, it is time, from a time-based perspective, to get that reversal potentially. You're kind of bouncing right now off of the 786 level, right on the dot here. So there's a potential that we could get that bounce. If we keep this local low right here, right? This local low is going to have to stay. Now, if we lose the 786, you got to, basically assume that we're going to go to the bigger 786 down here around 63,000 even. But until then, we do have the potential, and especially from a timing perspective, to get that reversal. All right. 15 minutes. So 15-minute, we lost at 200. We got above it. We weren't able to keep it. Getting that death cross potentially. Um, yeah, August trading is not the best, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. We had a very expensive, pretty expensive move last week. Um, basically, even the next couple of weeks could be compression candles potentially before we get another expansion maybe at the end of the month. But that's kind of what I'm seeing right now for the day. Nothing exciting. You kind of wiped out this double bottom right here, so I would assume that pretty soon you'd probably get some sort of reversal, especially considering time is in play right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at our liquidity here and see where that's at. So taking a look at liquidity, again, we kind of front ran this liquidity pool down here, starting to get kind of the bounce. I again would expect that we are going to eventually, if we're not going to take out this red side pool of liquidity just yet, I would expect for us to start to flip and at least take out this double top right here. So there's a potential that we could basically, keep going down, and this double top is some cat ears, and it would take out this triple bottom. But for right now, I am expecting a reversal to take out the double top. 1 hour time frame. So taking a look at the 1 hour, you did dive into most of this liquidity to the downside, which is a good sign. So you always want to you know, basically see us taking out liquidity prior to a decent move up, right? You see how we have this little area right here that we could potentially get a bounce off of. 63,351 is going to be a crucial area for us to hold, so to keep that in mind. If we do lose that, there's a potential that we take out this bottom and then we keep kind of moving our way down. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys. I mean, again, I am still going to remain bullish for the most part for the week. We didn't quite get up to the high I wanted to see, so I'm still saying that that is in play, whether it comes into fruition tomorrow or potentially even Friday. Um, you know, we've been dumping this whole week for the most part. We kind of had some retracements, but it's been a very dumpy week, so usually that comes with a reversal in sometime during the week. All right, let's take a look at the 15 minute. Yeah, so 15 minute, you're starting to get, kind of dive into this liquidity pool right here. Nothing major. I would expect for us to possibly get the bounce sometime soon, like I said, especially because, I'm going based off of time here. Taking a look at your order book, you kind of see the same thing. Some levels to watch here would be getting that bounce basically somewhere even off of 63.2, where you could get a potential bounce. These are all kind of it's almost acting as a support area, I would say, from the looks of it. You have some big orders kind of back to back to back, within $100, 50 actually, I think, yeah, about $75. So 75 to 75 to 75. You kind of have some decent support right here. So keep that in mind, guys. We do have some to the downside, but there is some support. As far as levels go, again, guys, 63,351, you're going to want to watch. Make sure that we can hold that. If not, 62,880 to 63K would be my next target to the downside, somewhere in between this range. And then to the upside, if we can get that bounce back up, you'd probably be looking somewhere in the 64, 666-ish range, or even higher, potentially bringing us back up to 65,737 if we could get that strong, reversal bounce here. So that being said, guys, that is what I am watching for right now. Actually, you know what? Let me check this off. Yeah, 64.4 or 64.5 is just going to be your first target because that takes out that double top right there. So one other level to watch is 64.5, which would be taking out that double top, and basically, that would be a really good place for you to take profit if you were trying to DCA into a long down here, or building a long, or starting a long. That's where I would consider possibly taking my first profit. Even though it doesn't quite hit weekly open yet, that would be a good place. Let's take a real quick look at the simple map here, see what's going on there. So when it comes to the simple map, let's see here. All right. All right. So to the downside, you got kind of have 63,300 as a potential support area. If you were to lose that, you basically drop to about 63,150, 63,180-ish, and then using that as a support area, and then potentially 63,090, and then down to 62,850. So all kind of levels that we talked about this morning. You don't have a lot of liquidity to the upside, or sorry, yeah, a lot of liquidity to the upside, unfortunately, 100x, 50x. But if you are able to get back up here, 64,260 would kind of be the first area. Then you'd be looking about 64,470, then to about 64,530. If you can get past 64,530, though, you can kind of get that follow through all the way to about 65K even. So definitely some interesting levels to watch to the upside. Let's take a look here. So the swing time frame. As far as the swing time frame goes, you have, to the downside 63.3 as a potential. You lose that, you get to about 63,180, and 63,090, and then to 62,850 again, like just like the scalping time frames. And then to the upside, if you're able to get above 64,290, kind of get that follow through, you can basically get to about 64,470 and then to about 64,530. You get above 64,530, you can just roll all the way through to about 65K. All right, guys, that being said, that is what I have for you for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all later on this evening. Take care.